Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So I have tested a couple of these ice makers before from this channel called VECYS, and they are really awesome. Now this one here is a little bit different because this is actually more of it's a home use and commercial use. It makes a lot more ice, has a lot more capacity. This thing here says 36 pieces per cycle instead of the 9 like the smaller ones. So every time it dumps, there's 36 pieces, 13 to 25 minutes. I think that's 13 to 25 minutes for the first cycle. This is self-cleaning also. This is the VECYS model IC3001. It is 110, 120 volt. And the cooling power, it says, is 200 watt. Let's take this thing out of the box and check it and see how it works. So it looks like the first thing in top of the box is some hose. This you'll need to hook it up if you're going to connect this to a constant water source in your house. You can also just pour water into this unit instead of hooking this up if you like. If you're taking it out off the grid somewhere, that's the way you would probably use it. But you can hook this up inside your house permanent with this hose. It also has a pressure valve. In case you have too much pressure, you can take this pressure valve and install on there to keep the pressure down so you're not running it too high. Okay, as you can see here, this is a lot larger unit than the last couple that I have tested for them. I need to peel all this off. There's several little pieces in these holes probably need to clean out of here because this is going to be an air intake, because it will have a fan in here, because this unit does have a compressor just like a real a large ice maker, commercial use. And this is a commercial ice maker. You can see all these little pieces of this stuff. Peel this out. We don't want any of this blowing through our fan. And then we have all this stuff on the back side also. So as you can see on the front, this is a very nice looking brushed stainless steel look, even on the sides. So definitely not cheap made. It's high quality stainless. A nice big opening here on the top with a nice big sight window so you can see in here and see what's going on. And then up top right here we have a place that we can pour in our water. Like I said, you could hook up the hose that's supplied with it, or you can pour water in here to make your ice using bottled water. So inside here there is a scoop, and the scoop has a nice hanger inside here where you can hang it up. Okay, you see here on the label on the back it says the model IC3001. Power supply it takes is 115 volts, 60 hertz. Rated current 2.8 amp. So on the back here on the bottom we have our water inlet where we connect our hose. And then this is a drain plug, so we can actually drain the bin. And if you connect this up permanently, you could actually connect a drain on here so it would drain all the time. Okay, I want to show how to connect the water line. So to connect the water line, on here we have a plug. And there's a little white ring back behind here, so we need to press this white ring in. And then when you press this white ring in, you can remove the plug. And then you will stick in your water line into here. After you get your water line pressed in, there's a little blue rings that come with it. And you can snap these right in here. And that locks it into place secure. Another way we would do this, if we're using the water pressure relief valve, it shows the direction of the water flow, which is this way. So we would take our hose, we can mount this, and we can put our hose from here into this unit right here. Same thing. We put the blue lock ring on it. On this side, we will put the hose from here, the piece that we cut off, we will put going to the water source of our house. And then we have the right pressure for this unit connected to the water. Okay, so it does come with an instruction manual too that was in the bag. If you need to look up anything and how to hook it up, it also shows you in here. We need to take this thing and fill it full of water, turn it on, and check it out. So if you're not going to connect the water line to a house, you can look inside here. This is where you actually fill it, and there's actually a float ball right there that you fill it to the float ball at the top, and that's your maximum level. You don't want to put more water in it than that, and then close this back down. Okay, so for demo purposes, I want to go ahead and fill this thing up with water. I just happen to have a gallon jug here of water. Spill a little bit around the outside, but it should be okay. So it looks like it holds almost a gallon, but not quite. But it's pretty close to a gallon. Okay, now I'm gonna take this cord and plug it into an AC outlet here on the wall. Okay, so when you first plug this unit in, it's going to show you your ambient temperature here in the room of 16 degrees. That's what it is right here in this room right now. That's not something that the freezing temperature is going to be. So just when you plug it in, it will show that temperature on there. So when you start the first batch of ice, it will actually cancel that and take that off of there. And of course, when you turn it on, you can see here it's flowing really quickly right there. Okay, one thing I want to explain is, so if we turn this off and then turn it back on, now you'll see here that it's lit up ice making. You can see the little display right here shows ice making, but you can't hear the compressor running. And that is because this compressor is equipped with a self-protection function. And the purpose in that is to keep from damaging the compressor. So if you happen to turn it off, turn it back on, it will show ice making. But because you've done that, it puts this thing in a suspended mode just for a little while. It shows ice making, but it will turn on here shortly as soon as it resets itself. And as I said, that is to keep from damaging the unit. So if it ever does that on you, you'll know what that means. It tells if we're connected to pipeline water, the ice is full, ice making, add water, timer, and then clean is listed upon here. Then we have the up and down buttons right here. Okay, now that it's turned back on, you can see our water is flowing across the freezer unit right here, and it should start freezing ice. And once that gets full, you see this flap. When it dumps the ice, it will flap that down and dump our ice into the bin right here. You can see this large bin, and this is our scoop right here. But this is the large bin where it holds all your ice. So we should start freezing ice here pretty soon. Close this back down. Okay, so we are running right now. We're going to keep a check on this thing, see how long it takes for the first dump. And where this thing is going to come in handy, if you're a person that has a large family, you have lots of big parties or big get-togethers, this thing would be great because it's going to supply a lot of ice for those big events instead of like the smaller ones, just for a couple people. The smaller ones do good, but this big commercial size would work great in an office place or like I said, large gatherings or family gatherings with parties and stuff. That's where this thing is going to come in handy. So we can also see on this side here that we have two large fans to keep the air flowing in through here to the compressor, and they're both running right now. So actually this is not even noisy at all. I'm not sure what the noise level is, but it's pretty low, nice and quiet. So on this side of the vent, this is where it's taking in the air. And then over here, both these fans are blowing air out. And it should be warm air, which it is starting to get a little warm right there. So here I've set the camera down where you can actually see, you can see through this tinted glass and see the cooling unit right there, the ice making unit. If I raise that up, of course, you can see it a lot better. So when it starts freezing ice here, I will show you. So what it displays right here now is showing the time that it's going to take before it dumps the first batch of ice, which it shows 5 minutes. So it should show 4 right now. And earlier when you seen it said 16, that was the ambient temperature when I first started this unit up. And of course now it's going to show the timer showing how long it's going to take before it makes ice. And this button right here says ice shedding for forced de-icing. In the ice making mode, press this button briefly to enter forced de-icing, which basically means inside here, if there's ice on there and you want to force it to dump it, you push that button and it should make it dump the ice. Okay, I'm not sure if you can tell it by the video, but it actually is building up ice right here right now. Now it has shut off the ice, the water, and it should be shedding our ice here pretty quick. I can hear it, the ice cracking a little bit here. And what it'll do, it warms up this aluminum plate or whatever this is made out of, and the ice will just start gradually coming out and fall out into our bin right here. And there it dumped our ice. Turns the water back on. It's going to start making another batch. You can see our ice down in here. Take our scoop and scoop some of it up. Look at that. How cool is that? And that didn't take no time at all, really. So here we go. We are back to making another load of ice. And now it has dumped that one. You can see that it shows 11 minutes on here before it should dump the next one. Okay, so it shows we have 2 minutes left for this. Getting ready to dump here in just shortly. And you can see that there's quite a bit of ice forming right there. Okay, now it shows we are at 1 minute. So it should be shutting off here pretty soon because the ice is actually getting pretty thick. Now we went down to 0 and it shuts off. And it's starting to warm up the ice right here so I can dump it. You see my timer here is at 21 minutes. That's for the first dump and the second dump. So I started this when I first started. So 21 minutes and it's fixing to dump our second load. And there it comes. Just like that. And the water kicks on. And here we go again. Now you see we're at 21 minutes and 38 seconds, something like that. That's pretty awesome. We'll just let this thing keep on making ice. Okay guys, there it just dumped another load of ice. That is the VECYS IC3001 commercial or home use ice maker. This thing is pretty awesome. So it's pretty much full right now. It's going to take at least a gallon or a little more to fill it with ice, which is not bad at all. And when it gets done, I can take the ice out. I can either leave it in here if I have the drain line connected, or I can take this ice out and put it in the ice tray in the freezer, or my ice tub in the freezer. But this unit's going to be great in here in the kitchen for Christmas time or big events or big holidays or whatever. Going to be super for that. Very nice. It fits under my counter, but my counters are special made. I made them myself, so they're a little low. I can set it where I can open this up. And with the water line connected and stuff, you don't have to be getting to the part to dump the water in. So actually works pretty good. So thank you guys for watching. Check this out in the link below. Catch y'all on the next one. Right on.